and welcome to another Ask Us Anything live with me, Kate R, for Intrepid English. Every Friday, I go live and I talk about a grammar, pronunciation, or vocabulary point that will help you, the English learner. Now, this week, I would love to talk about a pronunciation point that I think can cause some confusion. It's how to pronounce adjectives that end in ed. Now, I have done another live where I talked about the past simple regular endings and how to pronounce them, because the past simple regular endings of ed can have three different pronunciations. It can be a d sound, a t sound, or id. So, for example, buzzed, walked, or started, ended. And so there's three different pronunciations for the verbs ending in ed. And that's also the case for adjectives ending in ed. But there are some exceptions, of course. So the normal rule is yes, when an adjective ends in ed, if, for example, it is an unvoiced consonant like hitchhike. Oh, sorry, that's a verb. But hunchback, hunchback, then it will be hunchbacked. He was hunchbacked. He was a hunchbacked man. And it's a t sound because it's a voiced consonant sound. Now, when it is an unvoiced consonant sound. When it is a voiced consonant sound, so z, b, g, okay, then it's going to be the d sound. If it is a vowel sound, it's also going to be the d sound. So, for example, tired, tired, he's tired. That's an adjective, and it's tired. Or if an adjective ends with a d sound or a t sound, then it's the id sound. So, for example, he is undecided about what he wants to do for his English. Undecided. So I have my little girl at home and she's been quiet until now. Anyway, there are some exceptions and I want to talk about the exceptions right now. So, for example, we have some of these adjectives that end in ed, but they don't follow the rule. So, for example, if I'm talking about an animal or a person, and I'm talking about the length of their legs, I don't say he is short-legged, which if you're following the rule, it should be legged, because it's a g sound, so it should be d. But actually, we say short-legged. My cat is short-legged. I am long-legged. Okay, so it's actually it's a strange adjective that we say id instead of d. It's also the same when we're talking, and these are very specific adjectives. We can also talk about the aged. And so aged. Now, aged, we can say, oh, he's got older, he's aged. But then when we're talking about he is very aged, meaning old as an adjective, we're going to pronounce it aged. So, for example, when we're talking about the aged and the infirm, so that's the old people and people who are struggling to walk. Then we also have beloved. Now, we should say beloved, which we can say, but when we're talking about beloved, we would actually pronounce it id, because we're talking about his beloved. He missed his beloved after she died. We can also say crooked. This painting, or that painting is crooked. It's not hanging straight. We also say dogged. Okay, we don't say dogged, we say dogged for meaning determined. So her dogged determination to uncover the truth about the scandal led to her winning a prize, for example, if you're talking about a journalist. Then we also have learned. So when it's a verb, it's in the past, it's learned. But when we're talking about it as an adjective, we say learned. So this means educated. So my father was a very learned man. His brain was like a universe. We also say naked. We don't say naked. We say naked when we are talking about, for example, he ran over the pitch naked as the day he was born. We also say ragged. If you are run ragged, you are exhausted. You are running all around the place. You are ragged. Um, we also say sacred. We don't say sacred. Um, we say sacred, meaning holy. So, for example, this water is sacred. And you may have heard that very famous film, Wicked. Okay, the Wicked Witch in the West. Oh dear, my daughter has been so noisy today. And then there's finally wretched. Oh, she felt so wretched after he left her, so devastated, so unhappy, so wretched. So these are some adjectives that don't follow the rule that you expect with an ed ending. And so it's short-legged, legged, so short-legged, long-legged, aged, beloved, crooked, dogged, learned, naked, ragged, sacred, wicked, and wretched. So I hope that's been an interesting pronunciation point for you. Remember to check out next Friday Live to learn another point in English to help you improve and empower you in English. And be sure to come and join us whenever you want to improve your reading, your listening, your speaking skills, your pronunciation skills. We run every week a free reading club to empower everybody in English, in education. Oh dear, my daughter is going crazy again. I'm going to have to go. So I'll see you next week.